Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Mizzou Hockey Tiger postgame brought to you by Jim Butler Centralia. I'm Luca Vitale, alongside me, Coach David Giesel, Jake Fuller, and Coach. What a win today. A commanding victory, just in dominant fashion, high-scoring affair. Just talk to us, what was different today compared to yesterday?
Well, today you may have noticed, if you saw yesterday's game, we stayed out of the box. Yesterday's game, the second period and the third period, we spent a lot of time in the penalty box. I think we may have had 5 minutes of penalty-free play in both the second and the third period, so that slows you down a bit, takes away the momentum. Today we kept our heads, we cycled well, and played a great game.
Let's go. All right, so now we sort of talk about just this series in its totality. Obviously, Baker got his very first career goal in the league. Congratulations to him.
Yes.
Sort of talk to me about the bench at that moment.
So, yeah, the bench always gets excited when the incoming freshmen score goals. We changed our lines up a little bit today, too. We had two incoming freshmen play, Bader and Baker, and I moved our lines. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I did change our lines a little bit, and it seemed very good, very fluid. I'm happy with the current play.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because usually it was a lot of heavy on the first line, but it looked like a little bit more distribution today.
Yeah, I'm glad you noticed that. We did. We always like when all four lines are contributing equally, and that's really what we had today. We had great presence in the O-zone with all four lines. It was an awesome display.
Before I give it to Jake here, I did wanted to say something. Tanner Richardson, 2 starts, 0 goals allowed.
0 allowed. 2 shutouts. The boy's on fire.
Yeah, sort of talk to me, because last year Dobbs had the hot hand, but it's almost like Richardson has the hot hand right now.
Richardson's definitely has the hot hand, and then the off season, Richardson was training. He trained hard, and he came back a different player. So it's amazing. He's not the only one that came back a different player. We had a couple guys come back. They trained hard in the off season, and man, I got to tell you, it made a big difference.
Can you sort of talk to us about what type those players are?
Our coach is awesome.
What type of player?
No, those players. Exactly.
Oh, Cole Morris. He's one of our defensive players. He is a different skater. He looks great. I mean, literally night and day difference from last year to this year. And then Zimmer came back strong this year. Well, a lot of guys did come back strong, so it's important. The off-season training, those guys, it's pretty important for them to do well, and they did.
Jake, you got any questions for Coach? I mean,
yeah, thanks, Luca. Coach, you talked earlier about all four lines dominating that O-zone. I really saw it tonight. Last night it seemed like a more even spread of offense, but today I think definitely you guys held that up. Played blue line really well.
Yep.
What'd you say before the game that kind of got you guys in that mindset?
Well, the important thing for the team is to keep their heads, right? This game is not only physical and skill set ridden, but it's also a very mental game. Yeah. And when you lose your minds, which you can do because it's an emotional game, right? You're giving all you can, you're working really hard, and you can lose the mental aspect. And when that goes, you no longer are with your teammates because you're in some other zone and you're not paying attention to the gameplay. You lose sight of the ice and bad things happen. So that's what we worked on. Not only changing the lineups, but also had the conversation with the guys to keep their heads in the game and keep it clean.
Yeah, and they definitely did that. I know it got a little scrappy there at the end of the second, but they came back into the third. They played good, clean hockey and came out of it with a big win.
Yep. It'll get scrappy. It'll always get scrappy, but you got to keep in it. So
before we let you go, Coach, just want to talk about, you guys have quite a bit time off before you head out to West Lafayette in Indiana to take on Purdue.
Well, we have Ole Miss, don't we?
Oh, yeah, you got Ole Miss.
That's right, yeah.
That's lost in the calendar just a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I don't like those long stretches. I'm hoping we can get some extra practices in because, you sit that long, you go idle. It's never good to go idle.
So just to conclude here, you guys are 4-0 on the season. You guys have scored 5+ goals each game. Sort of talk to us, like, how do you guys maintain that moving forward?
Well, That's going to be difficult to do with any team. As the teams progress, our team and all teams progress, it's going to be more difficult for those high-scoring games. They're gonna taper off, I think, a little bit. But we're concentrating on being the best we can be. We're concentrating on our systems. We're concentrating. We have goals set. We have set those goals for the team. So it may be possible, and it may happen because, well, national is one of our goals, right?
Yeah.
That's a short-term goal for us.
Right.
Well, of course, MACHA, the tournament, but we want nationals this year. So
Road to St. Louis.
we're focused. Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, Coach, for joining us this evening. Tigers improve 4-0. St. Louis drops to 1-2, and that will conclude today's post-game show. I'm Luca Vitale, alongside me, Coach David Giesel, Jake Fuller, and everyone have a good night.